look at this. Look at this view. Hello, everyone. Happy Father's Day. Before anything else, I want to say Happy Father's Day to my father, who I actually had said that would be joining me tonight, but they're having a huge move, my parents are, and I simply didn't want him to overdo it. But I expect you guys to overdo it because you're joining me for this half-hour-long cardio-themed workout from the beautiful Windsor Walkway, Riverside Walkway here. Riverfront Walk, I should say. And over there, Detroit is the Renaissance Center. This is where I grew up, is Windsor, Essex County. So thank you all for joining us. So fathers out there, any parental figure that is making a difference in a young child's life, thank you. Your positive impact is making those little ones spectacular, wonderful little beings and this world better. So thank you for doing your due diligence. All right, guys. So you're joining me for a half-hour-long cardio-themed exercise program. I'm Craig Ramsay Fit, and if you've been watching, we've done a few of these. I paired up with Goldfish Casino Slots, and we're delivering half-hour-long workouts. So if you haven't seen the other ones we've done, they're all incredibly different. Each and every one is very unique. So please go back on the Goldfish Casino Slots YouTube and Facebook page and check those out. But today we're focusing on cardio. Why? Because cardio is such an important aspect of your overall health and wellness. This has been a difficult pandemic year, and I commend and just am so grateful for Goldfish to bring this opportunity where I can share my knowledge and expertise of 20 years as a fitness expert in this industry. Cardio for the health. My grandmother had a heart attack, bless her, over a year and a half ago, and she is going strong, but she's working out. She's doing a lot of these exercises, but modifying them. And that's what I'm going to say, guys. I'm going to give you a lot of cardio exercises today, and I want you to modify, and I'm going to give you that modification that you can resort back to. Okay, so incentives. Goldfish not only is taking care of your health and wellness, thank you, Goldie. Goldie must be in there somewhere, but they're also giving an incentive link at the end of this video. So stay tuned, watch till the end. They'll give you an incentive link. You'll click on it and you will receive free coins. It doesn't get better than that. Actually, it does, because 3 random winners will get even more coins, and it will be announced on Goldfish Casino Slots Facebook page tomorrow. Okay, guys, so we are going to intend to focus on heart health with today's exercises. I got my cheat sheet here. As you can see, it was supposed to rain, but the weather's holding out, so I do have an umbrella handy if need be, but hopefully it's not going to become a comedy show with me absolutely soaking wet. But stay tuned for that. Along the way, ask questions. I want to hear from you. What kind of workouts do you want to see in the future? And ask your cardio questions here. If I don't get to it live, I certainly will afterwards, I promise. All right, let's talk a little bit about Riverside, the riverfront walk here. In Windsor, Ontario. I'm in Canada. There's America, just right across the river here. This was initially developed in 1855 when the railroad ended here. And that's how Windsor developed, because the railroad finished here. It's at one of the southernmost points of Canada. And then it was the 1950s and 60s that the high-rise, not high-rise, but any buildings on the river were torn down. And then the city acquired all of the land in 1975. And then the big change took effect, and they had this plan to create this amazing opportunity for health, wellness, fitness, and social gatherings. And at 2000, it's called the River Walk Trail, and that's when it opened. Okay, so cardio, guys, I want to get into this. Warming up is incredibly important for any walking, jogging, or cardio exercises. And what we start with is our breath. Okay, breath. I was a singer on Broadway. I learned a lot of breathing techniques. They transfer over so well to exercising. So what I'm going to encourage you to do is take in a deep breath. Every 7 to 8 breaths should be a forceful breath of oxygen. And also, before you start any movement, a walk, a jog, anything, even in the beginning of your day, out of bed, you want to take big breaths to start and activate that movement, okay? Climbing up the stairs before that leg goes, you're going to breathe. And the technique of that is you're going to drop the jaw ever so slightly, unhinge the jaw there, which is going to relax the back of the neck muscles, the shoulders just soften down, and then your core is a lot lower than your belly button. It's actually an imaginary line between your hip bones, and that's where it's going to go soft for a breath. So you're just going to release the belly, and air is going to naturally come in. Like that. For these purposes, you can go in through the nose and out the mouth. It's an easy way to feel the slow ingest of oxygen, if you will. Feed your muscles the oxygen before you begin. Okay, we want to warm up taps. So also talking about my Broadway background, we're going to tap our feet, okay? Just the balls of our feet up and down. Immediately, you're going to feel how that strengthens and it contracts the front of the shins. Very important. With jogging, especially walking and jogging, you want to strengthen those shins. Don't shy away from that. In fact, with the walking technique I'm going to give you, it's going to be heel to the toe. It's going to utilize those front of the shins and develop them to support your walking and your balance, okay? So taps. Just tap with me. I'm going to do the actual exercises that are cardio based for 1 minute each. And then after that, we're going to talk about walking, and I'll show you, and jogging, and I'll show you. So the taps, tell me what you feel of this. Are you able to get a consistent noise going? That's the goal, because then you're unhinging your ankles and you're warming up your ankles at the same time. And light stretches before a cardio program. Why? Because if you overstretch, you're not going to get a proper contraction. So you want to do light stretches. What do those look like? Just a lunge back, keeping the chest up. You'll see how I raise up onto the ball of my feet and then back. It's the back that's going to stretch that hamstring. Nice light stretches. Cross that leg over in a figure 4 and lean over, chest up, booty out in the back. Other side. Beautiful. Arm swings. See how I go nice and slow and deliberate with pushing my shoulder down away from my ear. Got it? Are you with me? How do you feel? Good. Light exercises, light stretches. Arms out, arms in. Arms out, cross them in front. So this is a high release and a contraction. You're going to feel this all in the back between the scapula. Oh, there's that breath. And there's a helicopter. Hopefully you guys can hear me. Let me know. All right, are we ready? Are you ready? Okay, here we go, guys. Let's start with first exercise, which I geniusly created this when I was on tour with the original pre-Broadway cast of Mamma Mia back years ago. It's going to be a pretend jump rope using hand towels. They work perfectly to simulate a jumping rope. Now, if this is too much on your knees, your joints, your hips, then what I'm going to suggest you do is simply march on the spot and try and keep it nice and even. So that knee is going to come up at that same height at the belly button, time elevating the chest. But if you're with me with the jump rope, let's do it. And you can mix up the legs. One leg, really going to work those lower muscles. Other leg. And we're roughly doing each one of these exercises for a minute. Like so. Watch this. Back I go. Sorry. Look at my tricks. Can you tell what I did expertly well in the playground? Okay, double it up. Lots of ways to mix it up, as you can see. Front, back, alternate. Get my point? All right, before I get incredibly out of breath, I'm going to stop. I'm going to catch my breath, relax my jaw. You'll see how quickly I'm able to recover. It's mind over matter. Oh, that felt good. Okay, guys, we're going to do jumping jacks. So with my jumping jacks, I'm going to mix them up a little bit different. Instead of just a normal jumping jack, like so, I'm going to step out to the side. So one, and then the other. Hello, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Good. Trying to get healthy, stay healthy.
Awesome.
Difficult pandemic year.
Of course.
And see how I keep that bend at my elbow and I flex my hands. Really spread those hands wide with that, stepping out to the side. Why do I do that? Because I think that unilateral exercises, like stepping out to one side as opposed to both, work the core in a different way, and they help tighten up that obliques and the lower difficult problem areas in the abdominal region. How does that feel, guys? And if you need a modification for that, simply step out to the side, like so. And if your arms, if you have rotator cuff problems, simply take them down to the side. And you'll see how I come in just a little bit with to protect my knee. Straight on like this can sometimes put pressure, so you'll see it's just a little bit of a pronate in. Whew. Okay, I'm feeling this. Good. Let's move on. Okay, jump squat in and out. How are you feeling? Are you with me? Asking your questions? Love the combo. Hammos, yes. All right, guys, here we go. So what we're going to do is we're going to jump squat out and then in. Jump squat out and in. Keeping the chest up nice and high, shoulders down and back. I like to keep my hands clenched right at Goldie level. You can get some height if you want. There's that big deep breath that I was talking about earlier. I should say boot earlier. I am back in Canada. Finally, after a year and a half, where's the first place you guys want to travel to when it becomes available? Modification. Step out with the squat. You'll see how this really raises the heart rate up. And I'm taking my breaks where I'm lowering them down. Why? Because of interval training. I'm a huge fan of intervals, not only because they really are highly beneficial with weight loss and tightening up the body, but they're also make cardio especially more manageable. So you'll see when I host these 5Ks, charity events, I really encourage all people that never thought that jogging was for them, because you can make it manageable if you take your breaks, collect yourself, lower your heart rate. Can you get the same results if you go slower? Yes, you can. You can get the same results. Why? Because your body is conditioned differently. Each one of us has a different level and ability with athleticism. And what makes up that is, yes, genetics. It's also your experience with exercise, sports, etc. So start at any age. And if you are able to compromise your breathing with this cardio program and you're feeling fatigued in the legs, then bravo. That's exactly what we need for you to achieve. And I do it at my level as well. Does that make sense? All right, guys, moving on. Lunge switches with arms up. This one's tough if you have any knee issues. What I'm going to encourage you to do is just bring your knee up and then just little step backs, just like that. But for us, what we're going to do is switch with our arms up. So fun story with this one. As I talked about, have a Broadway background. So I performed on stage as a triple threat, actor, singer, dancer for numerous years. I trained my Broadway co-stars through that whole process. Now, when I moved to LA, my first gig paid me more money to simply do this in a print ad for Intel Pentium processors than I made in 6 months of a Broadway show. Shocking. And it really was my first introduction to LA and California. And guess what? I miss Broadway, but I certainly love the opportunities, the unique opportunities that California presents as well. Whew. Okay, that wasn't a minute, but let me tell you, my heart rate, even Goldie there can feel and count my heart, right? My heartbeats there. Okay, let's draw a line and cross it. Right, guys, so pretend, we don't have to pretend. There's a line right there. All I'm gonna do is jump forward and back, forward and back. This exercise is go really light on the feet, and that's gonna help strengthen all of your lower body muscles, including your glutes, because you see how I soften into it, as opposed to a hard, it's gonna be way too much stress on your ankles and your knees. By the way, if I had authority to give out extra coins for this, I would. Who can guess where my socks are from? Do you know where I got these socks? You don't?
Value Village.
No! Hudson Bay Company. They're Canadian.
Yes, they are.
Yes, there it is. Got confirmation. All right, so I guess I gave it away. But fun fact, most Canadians, except for that gentleman, know that that's Hudson Bay stripes. All right, guys, let's move on, because that one was a little too much for me to do and to host this. How are you guys doing? Checking in with you. Yes, Peter, you're right. The towel jump rope is great. I'm glad you like that. Okay, let's step back and forward kick, guys. And then we're going to do one of my favorites that I actually did in Chitty Chitty Bang Bang on Broadway. But lunge backwards and kick. Lunge backwards and straighten that leg and kick with a flex foot. So make sure that this is even and nice and slow. You want to join me?
No, thank you.
Next time, you can join me online. Go to Goldfish Casino Slots. Okay, guys?
Okay.
Awesome. Like all of you are joining me. Thank you so much. So you want to do it half on one leg, half on the other. Really feeling this, not only muscle fatiguing the whole lower body here, but again, an exercise that really jumps that heart rate up. It's about 88 degrees here. I'm sweating for those coins, and I certainly hope you are too. Stay tuned to the end of this with an incentive link for free Goldfish Casino slot coins will be shared. Okay, clowning around. Yes, it's time to clown around. You ready for this? Chitty Chitty Bang Bang on Broadway. Gillian Lynn, famed choreographer of Phantom of the Opera, Cats, and Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. I loved her dearly, lost her a couple of years ago, but she had a long-lived life, and this move in Chitty was one of my favorites that I transferred over to the fitness industry. So what we're going to do is have a slight turnout of our legs, just a slight, and we're going to keep our elbows bent, flexed hands. I'm going to bring my knee to my elbow, or you can suggest your elbow to your knee, or meet halfway in the middle. Isn't that how all relationships should be? Meet me halfway in the middle. So clowning around. This is really squeezing the obliques. And you might be wondering, well, how is this cardio? Because we're going to turn it into this. And I'm rolling through my foot, like so. Clowning around. This is one of the most exhausting moves, and Jillian had us do it in Chitty on Broadway while singing at the fun fair. Hopefully someone from my Broadway days is watching this and can comment to confirm that true fact. Near impossible move. 1 minute. Okay, guys. One of the hardest ones we're going to do. Find a spot with no bird poop or feces of any type, which is a little hard to do in this day and age in the cities. What we're going to do is a burpee, side kick, side kick. My side kick technique, I'm going to bend my supporting leg, and I'm going to lean over and just simply kick and kick. Sort of like Mary Catherine Gallagher on Saturday Night Live. guys remember Mary Catherine Gallagher in Saturday Night Live? No? When she did the Superstar. Rough audience. Here we go. Burpee. Up, hop back, and then in, kick, kick. Up, hop back, kick, kick. You'll notice I'm not doing the push-up with the burpee. I'm simply going into a plank, kick, kick, because it's hard enough as it is. Back, in, kick, kick. Get that jump up, kick, kick. Woo! All right, I kicked that workout for probably only 20 seconds, not that whole minute. But what I'm going to encourage you to do is reference this workout, pause it, and you time it perfectly for 1 minute. I guarantee you this half-hour long workout is going to change your heart health and your health and wellness. Okay, you're impressed with my kick? That ain't nothing. Woohoo! You know, it's important as we get older. I'm in my mid-40s. These types of programs are important to do. We talked about at the beginning, make it manageable. Do what feels good yet challenging to you. Don't compare yourself to me or anyone else that's out there. If you're feeling it, as we talked about, you're compromising your breathing. You have to use the techniques I'm sharing with you to relax. Remember, soften the belly and catch your breath. Then you know my cardio-themed workouts, exercises are working. Okay, guys, curtsy lunge. You deserve it. Again, from my Broadway days, although I never was properly allowed to curtsy. But I am today. Leg out, and curtsy down. Leg out, and curtsy down. Why do we put our arms out to the side? Because it's easier to balance. Like the tightrope. I'm kicking in front of my arms there. Kick and back. Kick. See this light turnout I have? And back. See the sweat dripping from my face? If you can't, I will show you in 2 counts of 8. Now, if that's too extreme for you, you can simply do a modified curtsy. And what I'm going to suggest you do is keep this toe pointed forward, that one comes back, just like so. Just a little light bend, and you can also place your hands onto your thigh for a little assistance. But the goal here is to keep that chest up nice and high. Do not come down, and don't change your sight. It looks forward. Forward. Focus on the future, not the past. Let's put this difficult pandemic year behind us. Right? Put that pandemic year behind us, right, sir? Yep. Really rough audience here in Windsor. I think I'd have a little more luck over in Detroit, or maybe with the people on that boat. I don't know. I'm not going to swim to them and find out. Okay, high knees up. High knees. Chest up. Now, this is an exercise that we're going to associate with our jogging. How? When you're jogging, it's different than walking. Walking, heel to the toe, exhaust the front of the shins, right here on my Hudson Bay sock. When you're jogging, the proper technique, or the technique that you want to build your strength for, is to be able to land softly in the middle of your foot. Okay, middle, and then to the balls of your feet. So with this high jump here, you're going to soften down into the center. So don't put a lot of weight into the heels. We're trying to protect ourselves from plantar fasciitis and other very common runner ailments. Get those knees up. I also like to turn it out a little bit, mix it up, and you can turn it in. Why is that important? Because it works adductors and abductors. So your thighs, okay? It really helps tighten up. And the more that you tighten up all these regions and here, the smaller the waist will appear. Then we strengthen our upper body with those planks, with those burpees, and the upper body being more tight and with lean muscle mass, the smaller the waist. Do you get it? You guys are quick learners. Okay, heel butt kicks, which isn't that tough because my booty goes out for days. I think that's stems from my Canadian hockey days. True fact, most Canadians are put on the ice before they're 5 years old. And I was one of them, and I'm grateful for it because sports for youth is so important, especially for the young men, because it really does help develop your testosterone levels for life. So if you can, find a sport, find some kind of physical activity for the youth in your life that they love and gravitate towards. Don't force them to do it, because that will be highly inappropriate. Let's find ones that they actually like. So butt kicks. To protect my butt, I'm going to put my hands out here like this, and I'm going to kick my hands. Again, not that hard, because my booty's out there. But this is going to help strengthen your hamstrings, and then you know what's coming up. Pick up the pace. Kick your own butt, people. And if you're not going to do it, I'll do it for you. Try and get it. Each one is one heel not touching your hand as often as the other. Pay attention to those unevennesses. Pay attention to see if it's uneven on one side. That typically means that you favor one leg. Either you're stepping up the stairs consistently with one leg and not the other, getting out of a car. It happens a lot when people have backpacks on one shoulder only. So make sure that it's favored nations and that you work both sides. All right, guys, we're ready to move on to our walking tips. Okay, breath. We talked about the importance of breath. Let me tell you about the importance of walking. Walking strength is so important to have, especially as we get older. But when you do it, you have to keep these things in mind, please. I want you to pay attention to your core. We talked about the core. It's not the belly button. It's lower. It's an imaginary line between your hip bones, okay? That core is what drives you forward. Heel to the toe with walking, and pay attention to your strides. I want to see those strides be even, and I want you to play around with them. Most people are like, walking's boring, or it just doesn't interest me. Walking is good for the mind and the body and the spirit. And if you walk with certain and you mix it up, it's going to be a really great workout. So let's talk about what that means. Short strides, a series of short strides. You'll notice I naturally pick up the pace when I do that. You can take a longer stride with this. Although, remind me if I don't say it, but during jogging, you want to shorten your strides. You don't want to take a longer than necessary stride forward, because that can be bad for the knees. Okay, so watch me go back and forward. That now picked up the pace without me even trying. Shorter strides. Speaking of my dancer background, this is an important one to share. So in the ballet world, when you're doing more than 3 pirouettes, this is a technique. You put your chapstick in your dominant hand, and then you do it. It helps balance you out and helps naturally even your stride. So watch me here, try this. You'll hold on to, including and especially for walking and jogging. Hello, good evening. Good evening. I want you to try that out, and I want you to get back to this video and tell me about your experience with that, okay? All right, guys, keep asking your questions. Stay till the end. We got some free coins coming your way with an incentive link. All right, clothing, range of movement. It's really important to have your range of movement, to have them breathe. You want to, this is a great tip. You want to work on your posture for this. You can roll up a washcloth and put it in the crook of your armpit, just like so. That's going to help your posture become absolutely perfect for your walking. Now, this is the thing. You don't want to walk. You don't want to have just the hips forward. You want to lean the chest as well. And then imagine that core being between those belly buttons and driving you forward. So see, chest up with that trick and then pitch it forward. Perfect technique for your walking and your jogging. Hydrate, guys. Music is important. It really helps chemically put you in the right frame of mind for any kind of exercising or podcast to occupy. If you're going for a long walk, listen to a podcast. Get into one that you'll enjoy. Fitbits are any kind of step counter or distance counter with speed is really going to help challenge you and push yourself, because this is a very private thing for you, walking and jogging, or so it should be. Push off with the back of the leg. Use the glutes, guys, with that walking. Even arm swings. Make sure they're even. You don't want to have one arm come further forward than the other. Pay attention to that, okay? And then we talked about this. Exhaust the shins. Don't be afraid to do that. Start with your walking. Don't jump into jogging right away. If you're not a jogger, go for a walk. The jog, the only thing that's different with that jog is that you want to aim for a softer land, not so much on the heels, not the heel to the toe. Okay? All right, guys, so how do you feel? Do we have our incentive link? Let's get that incentive link going, and I want to hear from you. What other workouts would you like to see? We've been doing some half-hour fun workouts. Go back and check them out. I'm also going to ask you to thank Goldfish Casino Slots for sponsoring these incredible 30-minute free workouts. And I'm going to ask you to please follow them on and subscribe to their YouTube channel, Goldfish Casino Slots, and all their social media handles, which are posted in the description of this video. All right, guys. Fun, good times. I had a great time with you. Thank you so much. And I think we should pack up this show and jog it on out. What you think? All right, I'm going to take you with me. Bear with me here. See, my backpack's on both sides. Let me show you the beautiful views. Thank you for joining me. The Ambassador Bridge. I lived right underneath that Ambassador Bridge, like basically underneath, under a house, in a house, of course, but during University of Windsor. And it's so nice to be back home. And it's so nice to be joined by, or with all of you tonight. It's our health and wellness. It's time to jog it away. All right, much love to you all. Happy Father's Day. Bye.